Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video, the second video of the day. And we are going to be hopefully asking and answering the question, is this a breakout for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market, or a fake out? We're going to cover that and hopefully satisfy you with an answer by the time you've watched this video. So in yesterday's video, guys, we covered in a lot more detail. Not yesterday's video, 2 days ago, we made a Bitcoin video where we said, look, you know, we're awaiting a breakout. That video is still up there for anybody who wants to see it. And essentially that has happened, guys. You have indeed broken out of your descending resistance now. However, there is a pretty crucial level of resistance still in play that has not only proved to be a resistance in the most kind of recent sell-off that we've seen, but has a bit of a history of being resistance that we're watching out for. So for me to be completely confirmed, and you can never be 100% accurate or 100% convicted. You always have to keep that little bit of what if about you when you're looking to kind of predict what way the market's going, because data is ever changing. When you're looking at a chart, it is literally changing depending on what time frame you are on continuously. But I do believe Bitcoin has broken out, and I do believe this is the bottom. We called the bottom for Bitcoin here. We said, look, you are not probably going to go lower than this in this cycle. You know, this was a pretty harsh sell-off, and we came dangerously close to it here, but ultimately we still stand on the conviction that this is the bottom. We got kind of mocked for that. Lots of people saying that Bitcoin was going down to 20k, etc., etc. I just couldn't see it, and if it did, then we'd really need to kind of rethink our whole Bitcoin bull run strategy, because at that point you really wouldn't be in a bull run. You would, essentially you'd be in trouble if we went down to 20k. So I do think this is the bottom for Bitcoin. We discussed why this sell-off actually wasn't as severe as people made it out to be. It was of course a severe sell-off. I know that sounds rather stupid, but if you take the leverage out of it and the sell pressure that added and how much price, how many thousands that actually took off in price, right around from around about 38k all the way down to 30, was a lot of people getting leverage long liquidated. So that's really what helped this sell-off be as magnificent as it was. And ultimately, if you take that out of it, you'd still be in your normal kind of 2017, 40% pullback range. So what are we going to look at in this video? Well, I'm going to be reconfirming to you why I do believe this is the breakout. Like I say, let's quickly draw that level of resistance that you are running into right now, because it is significant, and it's not just significant here, it's significant across the board. So we'll make that nice and thick. Everybody likes a bit of thickness. You can see you're running into that right now, and you are selling off from it. You need to smash through round about the 41,300 all the way to sort of 43 range. You need to smash through that for me to be really, really confirmed. You can kind of reject off it before then making another go at it. You can see you are above your EMA on the 4 hourly, and we're going to get into some bigger time frames. But you can see this resistance has actually played as resistance in price swing highs. So you can see here it acts as resistance. Here you have retests of it. Here you get kind of close to it, and you can see that it's really quite a strong resistance level. But ultimately, once you broke out of that resistance level, Bitcoin climbed quite significantly. Bitcoin climbed essentially like 50%. So we could be looking at a similar thing. We will see. We discussed the whole head and shoulders thing, that this was like a macro head and shoulders, and that we didn't really subscribe to that. It's not really like a traditional head and shoulders, and doesn't really scare me too much. I want to show you something. We spoke about the RSI and what this means. I want to show you something, because we often compare this sell-off to something like 2020's March sell-off, where everything crashed, not just crypto, the stock market, everything took a kind of nosedive. And I want to show you something interesting on the RSI. This was I think this was like a 66% sell-off, I believe, back in March 2020, or around about 65%. And we've compared the sell-off that we've just gone through to that sell-off in March. And if we pull up the RSI, guys, something very, very telling on the RSI. In yesterday's video, we spoke about, look, when you go down here below this kind of 30 level on your RSI, it's always usually followed with a recovery. And this is kind of a bottoming indicator that we've used on a number of occasions on this channel. You can see that the last one that happened prior to this was indeed March, and prior to that, you can see there was another 2 that you did indeed recover from. But the one in March, and let's just get the chart back up here, you can see that after you went to this kind of period, these are buying signals in a bull market. If you believe you're in a bull market and you see the RSI go like this, it's a buying signal. And I do believe the overall market is going to change. And I think a recovery like this is on the cards. I don't think you're just going to boom straight back up. I think you're going to have to work for it. And the thing is with Bitcoin right now is there's a lot of resistance in the way to us getting back to all-time highs. But ultimately, we still stand with 160k plus for Bitcoin. And I think this sell-off is, in hindsight, is going to be, nothing more than a great buying opportunity. In my opinion, this isn't financial advice. And also, it's really needed. You get to this point here where you can see whether it's Wyckoff accumulation or not. Another thing that this really tells you is Wyckoff distribution, or not. Is that you're losing momentum, your buying power's running out. And on the downside here, you can see that if you look at where your kind of wicks land, they're all around about the same area, which signifies that there's a lot of buying pressure there, and people are willing to come in and buy at these prices. You can tell that by the kind of length of the wicks as well, and you can see that you also have a lot of buying pressure coming here as well. So we're bullish on the cryptos. We're bullish on the crypto space. We're bullish on Bitcoin right now. We think the RSI is very revealing. We are above now the EMA for the first time, and you really, you can come back down and test this, but you want to kind of bounce off it and ride it up and make that recovery that we're kind of predicting for Bitcoin. So I'm buying. I've been buying throughout this entire dip. I've been able to do that with confidence. Those of you that have been watching the channel will know that, because I'm firm in my beliefs that cryptocurrencies are going to play a vital role in the future. And the whole narrative shift right now is switching. Tesla will resume taking Bitcoin as payment once miners go 50% green. We've already debunked the whole kind of Bitcoin bad for the environment. Yes, it's not as good for the environment as it would be if it was green energy that we were using, but it was blown way out of proportion, and even Tesla are coming back and saying, look, we'll start accepting it once it goes 50% green. That's a benchmark to move towards. That's going to really kill off that argument. We see El Salvador are using volcanic power, I think, to start to mine Bitcoin. So the narrative is now shifting, and also in yesterday's video we spoke about these shorts. And this, we also said, was a really good indicator that essentially, you've bottomed, because usually the shorts get met, certainly when they get this high, with buying opportunity. That's not been the case yet. We did call that a couple of days ago, and we thought that might have already taken place by now, but there's still people putting shorts on. I take it they don't know that everybody else is also short, and that is usually a good sign that the market is about to work against you. We know that we've seen that time and time again. Most traders lose money. Binance, I think, came out and said, I think 60% of their leverage traders use like 20x leverage. I mean, there's either a lot of people that know what they're doing, or there's a lot of idiots out there. I'm all for you trading leverage if you know what you're doing and you're experienced and you have a proven track record. Or even if you're, not experienced and you're just looking to get in it and you're not risking stuff. But I've literally heard stories of people risking, mortgages, money that they really need to survive in the real world. Because often easy to forget you're in the real world when you're in the crypto space, on leverage positions. And it's mind-blowing to me that people do that, because that at that point, if you don't know what you're doing and you're using leverage, you are gambling. And I don't see investing as gambling. I don't see investing in these coins as gambling. I see it as investing. There's a huge distinction between gambling and investing. But if you're going to start introducing leverage, silly amounts of leverage, when you really don't know what you're doing, you're just gambling. And I don't, I'd urge people, although I can't advise you what to do, I would urge people to stay away from leverage. You make enough money in the crypto space. It's such a high beta volatile asset class that you should make enough. You can make a lot of money from a little. That's been tried and tested time and time again in the crypto space. You just have to do a little bit more due diligence. So we are anticipating this recovery for Bitcoin. Let's look at the weekly quickly. Lots going on. I mean, I think I'm still in a daydream that an entire country is now legalized Bitcoin as legal tender. That means that people have to accommodate for that. If somebody wants to pay in Bitcoin, you can't refuse them. And this is going to create. We're already seeing a lot of South American countries. Start to move towards start to move towards this kind of, you know, using this, because it brings a lot of freedom to them. So we are anticipating, and you can see it's happening right now, guys, that you know you're coming up and you're going to get above this EMA, and this bull run is going to continue in the exact same sort of fashion to what you did down here back in March. I mean, they are very comparable. We're bullish. The overall crypto market is valued at $1.73 trillion, so extremely undervalued, if you ask me, in comparison with where we're going. Bitcoin dominance is up. This is another sign. We spoke about it more in a video a couple of days ago. So that's it, really, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I would hate to think that the price of Bitcoin is moving up because of this news in regards to Tesla, because to me this is the least significant news of all the news that we've got. Even some of the funding rounds hold more promise and more excitement to me than Tesla accepting Bitcoin again. But I suppose this is a good sign for the overall sort of sentiment. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. But that's really all I have for in this video. So is this a fake out? I believe this is indeed a breakout. I think that I'll be double sure of that. You know, you can see we are getting a bit of sell pressure taking place right now. But it's nothing really to worry about, I don't think. Let's take a look at some smaller time frames quickly. Yeah. You could be coming down to test this EMA, but what you want to see is a bounce off it, and you know, you want to start smashing through these levels of resistance that we drew for you. So yeah, you can see you are coming down slightly. Let's keep going down these time frames. Yeah, you're running out of sell pressure. Yeah, look at that. You're just bouncing off these EMAs, and you're going to do the same thing by the looks of it. Okay, yeah, perfect. Well, that's really all I have for in this video before we start going into 1 minute time frames and everyone starts squinting at the screens and losing their mind. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. We'll see what happens over the coming days. You know, it's going to be a very telling week. We did say that we were going to have a bearish week in yesterday's video on Cardano. Sorry, a bullish week in yesterday's video on Cardano, and that seems to be fruitful. I know I've picked up more crypto today. We're starting to get into some really small projects that we will be sharing you at some point, but some of them are that small, it's like, you know, I don't want to tell people. Some of them haven't even had independent audits on the code or anything like that, so I'm a little bit like reluctant to release that. We do have big things coming for the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be upgrading a lot of things. We're going to be doing some different stuff. We'd like to start live streaming so that I can interact with you guys directly. I know we've said that on a number of occasions, but you know, for those of you who don't know, I own a small business, and that is my priority at the moment, at least until I've sorted out management for that, and I can take more of a back seat and focus on the kind of media side of things for the crypto space, and you know, my own involvement in the crypto space. That's all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that one. I hope you've all had a fantastic day. I think this could be a real breakout and not a fake out. I could be wrong. We've been wrong before. We do get more calls right than we do wrong, like this Bitcoin bottom one. When we came down here, it was, you know, it was a little bit clenching, is the truth, because I was like, oh great. But hey ho, that's just how it goes, guys. Nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. All I have for you guys, I'm going to love and leave you, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.